What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy Halucha Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm back with, I said another Raw review, but this is pretty much my Raw breakdown uh, thing, majigger. What I'm pretty much doing, as I did on NXT, is I talk about the build going into WrestleMania for Raw and for SmackDown and stuff like that. Instead of doing night one and night two, I'm just gonna do everything that was on Raw, which I think there are 7 things on Raw, 7 matches to talk about on Raw, and then when SmackDown comes, I'm gonna do the same 7 for that. For SmackDown, I'm going to include the women's tag team championships because that match. They can do something Friday and I won't know, so I don't want to do that and then have to do another one for that one. So I'm just going to do the 7 for SmackDown, 7 for Raw, and I'm going to do what I am, I guess, from least excitement build to the most exciting build. I guess we'll do that. I didn't even do that. You can see that. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about Raw, kind of. And yeah, that's really it. So I have these aren't really my handy dandy notebooks. This is just for me. I just wrote the WrestleMania card for what's going to be on for Raw, the Raw side of the card, and SmackDown. So I don't be like, what else is on Raw? What else is going on? Because I like to do that a lot. So I guess from the least storied build match, or at least exciting story build match for me. And I think that's the problem with WrestleMania in general. I think that what they've been doing lately is they've been not putting on these great build, and they just think it's like, well, it's WrestleMania. WrestleMania will sell itself. They did that with WrestleMania 31, I believe. I think that's the one that had like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns like playing tug of war with the title. They're like, "That's my title. That's my title. That's my title." I think they did that, but the show itself was good. So I think that they've been banking lately on, even if the build isn't good, it's still WrestleMania season, so we can still, we'll still sell and stuff like that. And that's not how it works, really. I mean, of course, I think WrestleMania is going to be fantastic. I think the card up and down the card is going to be great, but like, you still need to build a show that people will care about. And unfortunately for Raw, they didn't really do that. A lot of these things, like a lot of these matches came out the blue, like Rhea Asuka. Of course, that's going to be a good match, but that they just had that match built for like 3 weeks ago. Rhea came out, she was like, "I challenge you." Asuka said yeah, and then the week after they had a contract signing, Rhea threw a table at her face, and then Nia and Shayna come out and they're like, we should be the ones that challenge Asuka. Remember, I knocked her teeth out. You two came to coexist. How about we have a tag team match next week, which is this week? Rhea said yeah, and then this week they had a tag team match, which was fine. And then Rhea turned on Asuka, and that was it. And Asuka's the babyface going into it, and Rhea's the heel. And that's literally the build to the feud for Rhea and Asuka. It's like if they gave them more time, and I can say that I can understand it's not their fault for this specific one, because my assumption would probably be that they probably wanted Asuka Charlotte, maybe a triple threat match with Rhea in there. Maybe they wanted to debut Rhea after WrestleMania or at WrestleMania. I can probably see why, of course, Lacey Evans gets pregnant, so it's like, okay, well, we had to change those plans for that. And then they were probably like, okay, Charlotte might be pregnant, because I think that was the thing, that Charlotte might have been pregnant, so they pulled her off the card and they threw her in there, but then she ended up not being pregnant. So, I mean, I can understand, but it's like, unfortunate. But like I said, the match itself was fine. The tag team match. Rhea Ripley is really good at wrestling. Uh, Asuka is very good at wrestling. Shayna Baszler is very good at wrestling. Nia Jax, she be there. She's getting better. She's getting more comfortable the week by week in her role. Just like sarcastic, like I like how she's like big and dominant, but she's also like so sassy and sarcastic, and she's like funny and stuff like that. I think that the dynamic between those two are like really really good. And then so Rhea and Asuka, not the best build, but their match at WrestleMania is going to be very, very, very good. Who will win? At first, I was gonna say Rhea Ripley. I was gonna say she would win, but I honestly don't know, man. They both might need the win from definitely from Asuka being 0-3 when she lost the match against Charlotte. She lost, I think, a tag team match. I think last year, the year before, something like that, and then she just lost another, and I think she lost another one. Again, I forgot who she faced, but she's 0-3, and then Rhea when she lost to I think she lost against. Did she lose against Becky last year? No, Becky beat Shayna. Who did Asuka lose to last year? I honestly don't remember what happened last year. That might have been the tag team match that she lost, maybe. But yeah, Rhea also, had that loss to Charlotte from last year when she took that NXT title, and then she went down. But I think if they put on a good match, I think if they continue the feud going into it, maybe even add Charlotte still, I think Rhea will be champion, but I don't know if she needs it right now, especially with the 3-week build. You give them a little, you give them a little bit more meat, give them a couple more feuds, sprinkling Shayna, maybe sprinkling a Charlotte or something like that, and then maybe by SummerSlam, get them back together, and then Rhea Ripley dominates that half a year with the title. Next up, also been couple of weeks, and I'm actually looking forward to this match even less than I was looking forward to the last match. Braun versus Shane. This has basically been Shane McMahon's been calling Braun Strowman stupid, and Strowman is like, I'm not stupid. You keep playing me as a joke, and I'm going to beat you up. You're going to get these hands. Shane McMahon's like, you're not going to touch me because I am smarter than you. Braun. The whole thing. Yeah. Steel cage match. Elias and what's his face? Jackson Riker, who's somehow still on the roster, and other people are not. How he still has a job, I'll be beyond me. That's not my business. Because, of course, so is Hulk Hogan, but again, it's not my business. Yeah, they've just been punching bags to Braun. And honestly, like, for this match, for what happened today, where Braun, went on this tangent about doing it for all the, he got picked on in school, and this is for all the kids out there who been picked on and just called stupid, all that stuff. This is for him, which is really weird that they went to that way because he was big, that he was stupid or whatever like that. They had the cage down. I kind of thought that they were going to use the cage. It would have been cool if they clapped the cage down, and it would have been like, this is the preview, the 2-on-1 handicap match Jackson Riker and Elias. This is going to be a preview. He locks the cage. He beats them both up. I thought that would have been, cool, but, it didn't happen. He still beats them within a couple of minutes because he's been beating them both within a couple of minutes. But, yeah, that's going to happen. This is going to go one or two ways. Either they're going to be on top of the cage, and Braun Strowman is going to throw him off the top and lose like he did with Kevin Owens, and he's going to prove Shane McMahon's point that he is stupid, or he's gonna learn his lesson, not throw him off the cage, throw him back inside the cell, and then give him a running power slam and then win. He's gonna do it one of two ways. He should learn his lesson, but if it's anything that Shane McMahon's been saying, he is stupid. Next up, with the couple week build moving on, would be Sheamus versus Riddle. I think this is even a lesser build than everything else, maybe? Whenever the day, I'm guessing actually all these were probably around the same time. After Monday, after Fastlane, Sheamus loses to Bobby Lashley after he lost to Drew McIntyre, who also lost to Drew McIntyre before, who also lost to Bobby Lashley before. Loses again to Bobby Lashley again. And then Sheamus is having an interview with I think the new guy Kevin, and then Matt Riddle comes. He was like, I got some questions, and he starts being Riddle and being ridiculous. And then Sheamus, of course, is like, yeah, hey, you're kind of funny. Hey, this scooter, hey. And then he beats him with the scooter. And then that's how that feud started. And I think after that, I think he attacked him again. And then they had a match, which Sheamus won, which was a really good match because they have great chemistry. And then this week, Matt Riddle had the match with Ali, and then they talked. They jabbed each other. And here we are. Sheamus versus Matt Riddle for the United States Championship. Again, the feud, the build, it's nothing special. But this match, again, if any indicator of what their matches in the past is going to be, this is going to be a fantastic match. I want to say Sheamus is going to win. I want Sheamus to win. Man, it might be too early. To take the strap off of him. But it's really unfortunate because Sheamus has been doing such good. Since he's come back, his feud with Big E has been fantastic. His matches, I'm not saying his feud with what's his face was good, Jeff Hardy, but that backstage, that brawl thing that they did, that was really good. He came to Raw, the matches with Sheamus, or the matches with Drew, with Bobby, with Riddle, with AJ, Jeff. The tag team matches, the stuff he's been doing with Keith Lee, he's been on another level. And honestly, even if he does lose, I hope either he goes to SmackDown or they switch the titles, like the U.S. champion goes to SmackDown and the IC champion goes to Raw. And maybe he gets that Intercontinental Championship that has been eluding his career, that he's been saying that's the one title that he really wants. I hope if they keep him on Raw and they switch the titles, hopefully they give him that shine, because I think he really, really deserves a run with the Intercontinental Championship. And I think that would be perfect for Big E to go back to Raw with New Day. I don't know if they'll be tag team champions, but you go to Raw with a New Day. Big E wins. We'll talk about that another time after SmackDown. But if he's still champion, you bring him to Raw. You bring Riddle to SmackDown, and then you keep the feud with Apollo. And you can bring Apollo to Raw. No, keep him on SmackDown. You have him feud with Riddle, and they should have a fantastic match too. But yeah, the match will be fantastic. The build, again, nothing special, but I expect Riddle to get that W. Maybe go to SmackDown, and Big E go to Raw. That would be my guess. Next up, I guess we'll talk about this one, which should be another good match. New Day versus AJ and Omos. Again, New Day, they win the tag team championships against the Hurt Business. And then AJ almost comes out because obviously there's no tag teams left in the world. And then I love how New Day always keeps saying, we beat a tag team, they break up. We beat another tag team, they break up. We beat another tag team, they go to another brand. So this is another fresh up matchup, I guess. And this is just really based on the fact that AJ and Omos aren't a real team. The fact that AJ has never been tag team champion. It's quite like Sheamus's probably journey that he's probably going to do. That he's never been Intercontinental champion. This is AJ's thing. I've never been tag team champion. I got a big guy with me. We can run the tag team division. Shawn Michaels, Big Diesel style. They've been doing these silly games. How well do you know your partner? Which I personally like because I like the New Day, and I like AJ. I like goofiness, but the goofiness I like, which is why I like Matt Riddle. He's goofy. He does whatever stupid stuff, but when he gets in the ring, he's serious and he's one of the best. And they proved that. Well, they haven't proved it lately. They proved it with AJ and Kofi. They flirt with it with AJ and Woods, who are both really good, and they put on good matches, and the stuff that they do are really crisp, but then it always get interrupted in the end. This time, there's going to be no interruptions. There's going to be no games played. I think... Oh, man. I want to say, honestly, I think that AJ and Omos is going to pull it off. But the problem is, again, there's no tag teams. So are you going to do a safe bet to keep the New Day, at the top? Because they also just won the titles. Are you going to have them win? Or will you just find more tag teams for them? That's really the big thing. Are you going to find more tag teams for really AJ and Omos if they become champions? Yeah, it's a weird one. The build has been fine, honestly. I just wish they give AJ and Xavier Woods more time, but that's not my business. Yeah, this match will be fine. Just to see how little AJ's been getting the upper hand on these feuds, besides the one time where Omos just murdered everybody. I think they might walk away with the titles, which good for them. I like Omos. Next up, this I guess feud has been kind of doing its thing. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison. At first, it was supposed to be Miz versus Bad Bunny. You knew that wasn't going to happen. Anytime there's a celebrity match, there's always a tag team match or a six-man tag or whatever like that. Their feud started a while ago, honestly. When Bad Bunny came and he was with Damian Priest. This might have been after Rumble. And the disrespect came because he wanted Bad Bunny to be part of his single, which of course so did Elias and all these other musical people. Bad Bunny said no. Oh, actually, this started at the Rumble. I actually forgot it started at the Rumble. And Miz said, all right, cool. And then I think he slapped him or something happened. And Damian Priest showed up. And then at the Rumble, Miz took out his DJ set piece or whatever after he performed Booker T. Sucker. And then he got involved. He went on the top rope and then did a splash on Miz and Morrison, and that's what it started. And it's been fine. They've been beating each other with guitars. I just wish they got into the tag team thing sooner. Like, you wait to the very today. You wait to the moment for it was like, by the way, this is going to be a tag team match, not a one-on-one match. You should have just announced that from the beginning. That we all knew that was going to happen anyway. But Bad Bunny cut a promo. Whew. It wasn't horrible, but it was long. It was a deep promo. When he was speaking his Spanish, when he was on the Spanish tip, he was doing good. But pretty much the basis of it was that he respects WWE, he respects the legends. When he was growing up, he was watching it with his dad. He said that he does feel like, of course, he's not a trained professional. I tried to say professional and professor at the same time. It didn't work out for me. He said that he's not a trained professional, but his brother, the DJ is like his brother, and he tore up his DJ set. You know, it was like, that's disrespectful. You know, I try to come to you and I respect you, but you don't respect me, and I'm going to make you respect me because I'm a man, and I'm going to beat your butt. And I think that was the final straw after Miz and Morrison, very carefully, the most carefully way possible, drew paint on his $3.9 or $3.6 million Bugatti. He woke up in a new Bugatti. Must be nice. Give me a couple mil of that. $3.6 million. If I had $0.6 million, that would be great. But yeah, and then they tagged him, and then Miz and Morrison said, we accept your tag team challenge. Wrestlemania, we're going to embarrass you, which is not going to happen because Damian Priest is now involved, and Damian Priest is not losing to Miz and or Morrison. The match should be fine. And, you know, Bad Bunny, he did stick around. He stuck around since Royal Rumble, you know, big Grammy award-winning SNL performance guy. You know, he stuck around, so good for him, and I'm glad he's committed. And this should be a decent match. Looking forward to it. Next up, Orton versus Fiend. This has been going on since, you know, they tell us all the time, since whenever Bray Wyatt got burned, TLC was it? Randy Orton burned him alive. He came back, and now he wants to beat up Randy Orton for burning him alive. And Alexa Bliss has been in it, and she resurrected the Fiend at Payback. No, at you know that pay-per-view. The one that just happened, Fastlane, that's what they call it. Yeah, she beat him, and she pinned him in that weird way that Randy's wife didn't like. And, you know, now he's going to come back, and he's going to beat Randy Orton in probably 3 seconds. It has to be at least 3 seconds, right? So he'll probably Sister Abigail, 1, 2, 3, squash match, Fiend wins. The big question is what's going to really happen next after Fiend. Who will he target next? Which is really, this is where I feel bad for Bray, because he's so good and he really deserves titles. But it's like the character that he has. How do you just win, and how do you lose in a sensible way, not a stupid way like he lost to Goldberg, because we don't like talking about that. Unless his next feud is against Goldberg and he squashes him too for that awfulness that happened at Saudi Arabia, which I doubt that would happen, because, you know, Goldberg's a hero to children and stuff like that. But yeah, that will be a squash match, and we'll enjoy it all. And finally, from the Raw side for WrestleMania Night 1, which they kept saying is main eventing, but I don't think they're main eventing. I think they're opening the show. I think Sasha and Bianca is actually main eventing. Drew versus Lashley. Again, this match is I guess technically this feud started from like last year, when MVP said that he told Drew McIntyre that MVP will be the reason that he lost the title, even though Randy Orton beat him for the title and he wasn't technically the reason, but he did win it a couple weeks back. But now he is technically again the reason that he lost the title to The Miz at Royal Rumble, because Bobby beat the Drew McIntyre, and then Miz cashed in, and then a week later Bobby beat The Miz for the WWE Championship, and then Bobby Lashley got the 24/7 division to get a hit on Drew McIntyre. It didn't work, because it was the 24/7 division. It was what's his face? It was Humberto Carrillo. It was Angel Garza. It was what's his face? I don't remember his name. Um, Drew Gulak. They tried, failed, and then he wanted Braun to get in. He was like, "Don't worry about me. You worry about him." And then when I beat Shane, I got you. And then he wanted Riddle to do it. Riddle was like, "Man, I got Sheamus to worry about. I ain't even stunting you right now. U.S. champion. I don't need to worry about you." And then he looked at Ricochet. Ricochet was like, "I ain't gonna attack you from behind, but if you want to fight, let's fight." And then that match happened, which was great. And then Ali had a match with him, which was also great. And then he still beat them both. And then Corbin came out and says, "I'm gonna beat you up." And then this week, Drew beat up Corbin, which the match itself, it was fine. It was good stuff. And then apparently it wasn't about winning the match. It was about taking out Drew McIntyre, which he did not do. And then the promo between the two in the morning, earlier in the show was, it's pretty decent stuff. What Drew can do is talk his butt off. And I like that Bobby also had two feuds going. He got this feud with Drew McIntyre while trying to get everybody to hunt down McIntyre, while also get into the Hurt Business, which unfortunately isn't a thing. But his match with Cedric Alexander was really good. He dominated him. Said he got a couple of good stuff in, but in the end, he wins because it's Bobby Lashley. Man, I really do hope that they don't break up at least Seti and Shelton, because I think they're really good, and I think they can be great assets to the tag team division, Raw or SmackDown. They're really, really good. Maybe they'll swerve us. Maybe they'll have a match. They'll have the match, and maybe Seti and Shelton comes back out anyway to take out what's his face to Drew or something to give Bobby that win. So he retains at WrestleMania, which actually probably won't happen because they're banned. Maybe they'll get distracted or something. I don't know, but I really hope Bobby Lashley retains the title. Man, he's been doing great work. At least keep it to SummerSlam. That's all we ask for. SummerSlam, drop it. We're happy. Oh, and then you bring it to you retain it at Royal Rumble. Drop it again at WrestleMania. You're a two-time champion. You go to SmackDown. You meet Roman Reigns, and then we go from there. Then we'll have the Hurt Business versus the Tribal Gang. I don't know, but yeah. Overall, that's your lot for Raw side of WrestleMania. The show itself was fine. They were just building stuff. They had fine matches. When I say fine matches, I mean Ali versus Riddle, which was a good match. The tag team match with Asuka and Rhea versus the tag champions, that was good stuff. And then the main event, Corbin versus Drew, was actually not that bad. Everything else was just there. AJ versus Woods was like a couple minutes. Braun versus in the handicap match was a couple minutes. Bad Bunny talked a long time, and that was really the show. All in all, I think WrestleMania will be fine, especially for the Raw side. I'm probably leaning more towards like the SmackDown side. I think that's the side that really has me interested. But this side is not that bad either. It's not that bad. It's going to be a good show no matter what. What did you think about Raw? What do you think about the feud that's been going on? Let me know. Are you excited for WrestleMania? I am. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys for TakeOver. I'm out.